Hello and welcome into this video where we will be exploring the illumination, the manifestation that we may be seeing and receiving around this Cancer full moon that is taking place on January 3rd and 4th, depending on where you are in the world. And I'm also going to be landing in for you the current energies. What might be some of the experiences that you are experiencing to validate your life, your lived experience, and how you might work with and alchemize these energies to flip the script, to live more from your true, authentic self rather than the old default patterns and conditionings. This is the power of astrology, of understanding nature, because astrology is nature. And the more we understand astrology and our nature, the more that we understand ourselves. So that is my intention, to help you through this particular moment in time to understand what the energies are that we are all working with right now. If you like this video, please, I ask you to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you already haven't done so. Hit that notification bell. Really helps me so much with the giant tech platforms and not necessarily them wanting to have this kind of information out to the world. If you are new here, my name is Chrissy Whistler. I am a soul level evolutionary astrologer, an energy practitioner, an intuitive, and my most important teaching of all is that of being a parent, of being a mother. If you would like to work with me one-on-one to understand how this full moon is directly impacting you and why, and how to flip that script to live this new life, please go to my website, chrissywhistler.com, and I'm just a few days away from being finished with my website relaunch, if all goes well with the bugs and the kinks. You know, when you do technology stuff, you never know what you're going to get. But for a few more days, you have access to all of my older pricing because they will be going up. So just a little heads up if you have been on the fence. And I truly am in that near completion point for this project that I've been working on since August. So thank you for your patience with all that. I really do hope you will enjoy the new revitalized look that's coming forward. All right, so welcome in to 2026. Can you feel there's been a shift in the air? Not a, oh, this is fantastic and wonderful, everything from 2025 is complete. Because that's not happening. Or at least not yet. We are still in this in-between phase, this real crunch point and culmination. All right, so you, more than likely, you're still in that pressure building experience, especially if you are someone who is an older soul. You have this spiritual alignment where you're wanting to give back to others, where you are actually willing to sit with your shadow, your unconscious, all parts of yourself, and to still love them and accept them for what they are. Those souls, and you will know if you're one of them, boy, 2025 has been a year of the puke bucket. Let me know in the comments if this is resonating for you. If this has been your experience where you can feel this pressure building. You can also feel like there is a shift coming. There's this creativity, this spark, this excitement of what's coming next, but it's not here yet. It hasn't been birthed yet. But you're like, oh yes, I can feel that. I can tune into that. But you can't focus on that right now because right now you are actually puking your guts out. Or maybe it's coming out the other end, right? We are going through this massive refining moment. 2025 has been the tumbler that is shaping many of us into the diamonds that we actually are, and yet we more than likely had no idea that that is who we are, that that is our nature, this brilliance that we hold, that we were meant to shine. So it's like actually in that pressure, that carbonization process a diamond needs to go through, like that has been 2025. This tumbler of what do you need to see within yourself that is a whole lot of bullshit. And it is goddamn time that you let them go. Those beliefs, those patterns, those conditionings put on you for many, many lifetimes. I'm not just speaking about shitty childhoods or having a narcissistic parent dimming your light, your creativity, your unique self-expression. Yes, that can be true, and it may very well be true, was for me. But this goes back farther and deeper. Soul level stuff, deep, long-term unconscious memory that our soul is holding on to. That's why this level of puking or running to the bathroom has been so intense and so severe. And I'm actually not just, of course, speaking physically, but energetically. This puking up of the toxins, of the beliefs that your soul has been holding on to, all these masks and cloaks that you've been wearing that are not actually who you are at that core soul essence. There has been this necessary pressure building to deal with that shit, to shed it, to let it go, because we are needed to be those diamonds right now out in the world. But that out in the world part isn't quite there yet. So it's like we're still in this very internal inner process, this shedding, this mulching of the old bullshit. And it has been very, very intense, where you thought you've puked up as much as you possibly can and your stomach is empty, and then, oh my gosh, whole new level of depth is coming up through you. And you're just like, oh my God, here's another wave. So you kind of been feeling this wave after wave of intensity that's causing you to go even deeper into those old wounds, to sit with them, to work through them, to heal them, to integrate them, or to release them because they're not actually yours to begin with. They've been part of those outdated conditionings from society, from parents, and you're like, no, this is bullshit and this is not true. I'm not going to carry it anymore. This is the 2025 energy. We're still in it, and there's a reason why. I'm really speaking to that Saturn-Neptune conjunction right here. This shattering of our world, our society and structures. Just look out the front door and you'll see something, right? That's taking place in our governments, our world, all the things. This is also a shattering of structures, Saturn, of our consciousness, a dissolving Neptune of those things that are not true. There's a real initiation into our spiritual mastery if we have been willing to do that deep, icky, uncomfortable inner work. And if you have been there, if you are there right now where you have been tested beyond what you thought was possible, let us know in the comments below so we can see you and witness you and what you are going through. Because you're not going through it alone. As usual with astrology, we're speaking cycles within cycles. I'm speaking of a larger cycle, Saturn, Neptune, and we're going to get to that rebirth point February 20th, and we're going to really start to feel it come springtime, where it's actually like, yes, let's hit the ground running, let's go, let's do this thing. So we're still in that culmination, that birth canal phase. I'm also, though, speaking to this moon cycle that started on December 19th with the Sagittarius new moon. And we are coming into the full moon in Cancer, where there's an illumination of what that seed that was planted at the new moon, what that even is. Oh, this new moon, let me just pause for a moment. They're asking me to check my notes. Okay. All right, I'll get to that in a moment. This time period, especially Christmas time, holiday time into 2026, so that like week 2 ending point, you might have been feeling a lot of energy around hopelessness. And this, what is even the point of living, of trying? This heaviness, this density, this depression. This was not a light and fun and fluffy holiday season. This could have been a real existential crisis, a real questioning, is there even a God or goddess, the divine source? Pick the word that resonates for you. Is there actually a God? And if there is a God, what the fuck, man? Why am I having to go to this deep level of pain and suffering? And it's not only are you going to that level of depth, you're in that space and you're like, I don't feel like I'm being held at all. A sense and a feeling of abandonment by the divine, by God, that you are just floating helplessly alone. And that floor is rushing to hit you fast. That particular energy is taking us back to our new moon, which was ruled by Jupiter in Cancer. So this safety, this security, this being held. Jupiter square to Chiron. this tuning into God, and that God is not there. This real crisis in faith. I'm also very much speaking to the North Node being in Pisces right now. This is what I mean of this being broken open to our depths, not feeling safe, feeling that hopelessness. You know, it's that tuning into your intuition and then your intuition's not there. There's no guiding hand of fate, of God, holding you at your back, where you know that you are safe and held no matter what happens. So that intensity, if that is what you have been feeling, you are not alone. And this is part of that deep dive into faith that we're being called on right now. This getting shattering opened. So when all the stuff, whatever it is that you're here to bring forward, you get to that point, again, especially come springtime of this year, you're going to be able to hold that frequency for what the world is going through, the crumbling, the changing, and anchoring into that level of faith, because you've already been there. You've already had to walk that walk. This is part of that diamond creating experience and this being the tumbler. Again, a very, very wild year. Also, when I'm speaking with this crisis of our faith in God, this is Neptune at 29 degrees of its own sign in Pisces. 31 minutes, like barely hanging on to its sign. And then later in January, Neptune will be leaving Pisces for the last time in all of our lifetimes and moving and staying in Aries. This existential spiritual crisis, this is why. This is where our testing of faith is happening. Know that while there's also this testing, this existential crisis, this hopelessness, the other end of that spectrum is this opportunity of this complete mystical journey. Really being able to tap into this high mystic, high magical, otherworldly energy. That is Neptune. Clearing that energy. Neptune is all of life itself. So it's this both and moment. But to work with that high energy, there's that necessary going into the puking. What has been keeping you from calling back your power, reclaiming this ability to be in that high, otherworldly, mystical state? Okay. I'm just looking at my notes. All right, so very inner journey, this particular moon cycle. This has also been a lot of questioning. Are you safe? And what is safety? This is the energy of the divine feminine. It was really honing in for us at this new moon, again ruled by Jupiter, retrograde in Cancer. This is tapping in to the planetary north node of Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto for all of humanity. This has been our thousands of years collective story where we have not been safe. emotional safety, emotional security, the home, the family, the energy of the Divine Mother herself, of the earth, nature, that has been suppressed and oppressed by the patriarchy systems that have been governing us for thousands of years. So if you're not feeling safe right now, or there's a real activation within you around this energy, this is the time for it. Where are you not feeling safe is like ringing a gong within your whole system. Whether it's food or financial insecurity, it's like a fractal. It's coming into you from this particular thing. How am I going to feed my children? How am I going to pay rent? Is my job going to disappear? Or my job has disappeared and no new one has found its way to me yet. Like, it's not been happening despite everything you've been doing. That is a fractal. That is taking you deep into your energetic system and fields, deep into the soul level, long-term memory, into the collective itself. Our collective memory of not feeling safe. Bringing into this feeling of not being safe, this hyper-focused theme, I mentioned Jupiter was square to Chiron at our new moon. Chiron has just stationed direct at 22 degrees in Aries. So wow, this wound of safety is huge right now. This wound of where we have not been allowed to be our unique selves, our spark, our willpower, our desires. What is that for you? What is that spark that's calling you forward? And how have you been knocked down in the past? You were not allowed to go to the beat of your own drum. The freedom to explore who you are, your I am. That is the energy of Aries. So this can be a lot of those wounds really coming clear right now. Chiron can very much be part of this puking diary experience where we're needing to release and purge these toxins from our systems, from our emotional body as well. And it's like this experience of being cut open without any anesthesia. That's how deep the Chiron wounds can be felt. And you'll know when you're getting hit by them, because it really does feel like you've had surgery with no anesthesia and no painkillers. Just being completely broken open. And yet, where we have been broken open is where the greatest light can come through. That is our healing gift, our mastery that we can offer back to the world. So just consider this story of the divine feminine. And do you have any wounds around that which you might hold? Are you someone who can really hold that energy of safety, of witnessing, of listening to someone else's story from a true heart-centered space? And is that valued? Has that been allowed in our world? And what wounds might you still be holding on to that? This is part of that purging process, to let that go so you can come into this light of who you are, to hold that, because we need that more than ever, especially for what is coming next. This has also been a real story, real energy around the voice. This coming, the voice our truth, authenticity, who we really are, not who parents and society, culture wanted us to be. Our authentic truth, our voice is coming back online. Like, you can feel this need to stand in that energy. This protector, warrior energy that's been so wounded in the past is coming back online. This is Chiron conjunct Aries. Like, no more of this bullshit. I am going to stand up for myself and for those others, to be that actual defender and protector. So it's this both purging, puking, and simultaneously a coming back into this wholeness, to anchor into the spark and this power of who you are. Oh, okay. So this is going to bring us to our full moon. And I'm just going to pull up my screen to make sure. There's quite a few energies. I'm not going to get to all of them, but I really want to highlight some of these bigger ones. So the moon is going to be at 13 degrees of Cancer. On the other end of that, here's our moon in Cancer. We've got the sun. We have this sun conjunct Mars and Venus in Capricorn. And then we also have Quawa and Ixion there as well, dwarf planets. The moon being in her own sign of Cancer. So everything I've been speaking about with this divine feminine, and remember, Jupiter is there as well. Jupiter, it's wide, but it doesn't matter because Jupiter is ruling this whole moon cycle. Jupiter is a magnifying glass. Oh my goodness, it is really honing in on these wounds of safety, of what the divine feminine is and how she has been oppressed and repressed in our society, in our world. Oh my gosh, we are going to be feeling that. Again, on the other end of that spectrum is the Capricorn energy. Venus, Mars, the sun, Ixion, Quawa are in Capricorn. This is our society, our world, our structures. And you remember, Saturn is ruling all those planets. Saturn is in that journey with Neptune. There is a dissolving of these structures. So be really mindful. What do you need to see around any outdated expectations, obligations that society, your parents, your bosses, patriarchy, conditionings that are inside of you that need to be seen so they can be dissolved? This is where we need to really sit with these shadowy parts, because we all have them. Because patriarchy goes that fucking deep in each and every one of us. It is a rotting root in our consciousness for all of us. And it's been there for thousands and thousands of years. This is the time that we're pulling out all of those roots. If you want to start creating this foundation for the new future, this is the part of the work. So be really mindful with your energy. Where is your energy going? Is it going into these old systems? Or is it time to change that up? Are you going into a lot of anger? And I don't mean anger as all anger is bad. I mean sort of the knee-jerk anger reactions. Honestly, just look at politics and you'll kind of know what I mean. People just start getting really angry and hateful, and they're throwing that and they're throwing that. That's the kind of anger I'm referring to. Righteous anger. No, this is not okay. I will not stand for this. I will stand and protect and defend that feminine Cancer energy. That is the right kind of anger that you want to embody. So there can even be a freeing of what anger actually means. Anger has been so demonized and so made to be just two-dimensional. And it's not acceptable, and it is acceptable in our culture. Like, what is that for you? Really pay attention for how that can be coming forward. There can also be a lot with relationships that are ending, that are culminating right now, where the people that are still holding on to those, everything that I'm speaking of, the old patriarchy, the old bullshit, who do you need to let go of because they're not actually seeing you and your needs? This is also about proper reflections of who you are, your ego, your mirror. This is the moon in Cancer. Anybody who cannot truly see you for who you are and the distorted reflections that they're giving you, those are the people you need to let go of. The people who are really stuck in the past and in those traditional ways of where you in relationship, that is going to be part of this illumination for you.
I gotta go to Steve's.
Well, Daddy's not here right now.
What?
Daddy's at Costco. You have to wait till Daddy gets back.
So, the hay? Yeah.
Daddy's at Costco. Thank you. Every Friday, Daddy goes to Steve's and brings home French fries and burgers. And Eric, you better leave. He is like, it's Friday. Where's Daddy? All right, so the dwarf planets. I just want to briefly bring in Ixion. Ixion in Capricorn is at its highest octave is asking us, are the rules we're playing by the right rules? Are the rules of society and its structure the right rules? Or is it time to make some new ones? So be really mindful of that illumination that's coming forward. Okay. What else do I want to highlight for you? I'm getting really distracted because all of a sudden it just started pouring outside. And I don't think we were supposed to get rain until later tonight. And that's a lot of rain. Huh. How interesting. Yeah, here in the States right now on the West Coast, we've been really getting hit with atmospheric rivers, a lot of flooding, which is also having to do with Neptune and Pisces as well. And that flooding is also part of this purging process of releasing what has been stuck and stagnant and getting it gone, getting it moving again. Okay. Oh, let's see here. This full moon is in a trine to our North Node in Pisces. So really lean into this flow of the moment, of the waters. To surrender to where that flow is taking you, even if that's, again, taking you into this deep existential spiritual crisis. This story, this message of deep faith and deep surrender. So just sort of know that as you do this work of the full moon in Cancer, opposite to all those energies, as you do that, this is actually going to lead you into this new way, this deep existential crisis can be part of it, but it's also through that we're tuning into these mystical teachings and opportunities, experiences. This, again, this journey of into what it means to anchor in and hold faith, to embody it. And that embodiment can only come when we've been brought so low. and we have no idea how the hell we're going to get back up again. How we're just going to keep living to the next day and the day after. That is the journey. Very deep, deep journey. Pisces, Neptune ruling that at the last degree. So I also just want to bring in the squares that we have going on. So on one end of the square, the moon is being square to Maki in Libra. Maki is this opportunity to update our consciousness. The vehicle that we move around in the world, it's time to get an update to that, to a higher dimensional frequency. Maki is the fractal. This working with this particular experience that we're having, and yet through that experience, it's actually deeper and deeper and deeper, taking us into that multi-dimensional realm and fields. So this very much can have to do with justice. In Libra, truth, true equality, true justice, and how we don't have that, how we're not seeing it. So it's this pressure cooker, this crisis in action, this need to change. And then on the other end of this, on the other end of that square, got Maki. On the opposite end, we have Salacia and Leila Kuhuna. This is very much this divine timing energy, Salacia. Salacia is teaching us how to weather the storms. I have a storm outside right now. The storms of the moment. Psychic storms, physical storms, emotional storms. How to move through and weather through those. And finding that right timing. She's this beautiful higher love consciousness that she holds. And Leila Kuhuna is tapping into new navigational systems. What might those be, and how might they be coming online for us? You know, telepathy is just one example. Clairsentience is another. Now, imagine what other navigational systems we haven't had access to, though they actually have always been a part of us. So again, there can be this, as you clear out the story of the patriarchy, puking up all that stuff, what new navigational updates, systems updates that you're driving around in are happening. And as they come online, it's like going into this quantum multidimensional field. I know this is really deep, but just kind of like, this is the level that we're working with here. Like, this is not just an ordinary full moon. I mean, honestly, this is not your ordinary moment in time. This is a big deal. And all of this is part of the system, part of the process that is getting us back online, because it's going to be go time soon and we have stuff to do. We have things to hold. Okay. Just to briefly add in, we do have Lucifer conjunct Orcus. Lucifer is a very deep, complicated, or I should say complex asteroid, where we can be and experience the most evil, and at that higher octave is the greatest good, to be the light bearer that we are. So it's like we can either fall into that evil, only caring about ourselves, or being a bearer of light for this new future. And there's this real opportunity with Orcus, this karmic consciousness, to take our shadows, this evil that exists within each of us, that is testing each of us, this shadow, to alchemize it, to be the very light that helps us move across the desert, that desert of hopelessness that we may be experiencing. So it's a real transmutation opportunity. Even it's also, there can be a lot with shame of not being good enough, not being perfect enough. I'm not going to go super deep into that, but just those are some of the Virgo potentials, the Virgo energy. There can be a real reliving of masochism. You know, I'm human, I've sinned, so I have to punish myself kind of energy. So just sort of know that this is also playing up, and there's a real opportunity to sit and see this karma instead of going into, well, if no one sees me that I did a bad thing, I'm going to be okay, I'm not going to get punished for it. That's a lower octave Orcus. Whereas higher octave is, you know, the divine sees all. So just because you thought you got away with it, you didn't. And so there's that choice of, am I going to try and get away with the thing? Or am I going to own it? Accept what I have done, accept the consequences, right? And through that, that's where this transmutation really can occur, is what we may be experiencing. So I hope that kind of gives a little bit of idea of what those energies are. And just to finish up, on January 6th, we have our Mars and Venus conjunction, 16 degrees of Capricorn, which will be opposite to Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. And again, that's going to be highlighting those planetary north and south nodes that I talked about. Don't get lost in the astrology lingo. Just know that this is very, very, very deep. This is going deep into the human collective energies that we've been going through. So real magnifying glass of focusing on everything I was speaking about with that Capricorn energy, with Venus and the Sun and Mars there, but can be really, really highlighted, and an opportunity for a new seed to be planted with the people in our lives. Where we are putting our energy is this high octave Capricorn, where we do care about what other people are experiencing, and we actually want to help society and give back and build in some way. With Venus, this can also have to do with how we speak to ourselves. So just sort of be aware that this is also in play. I know this is a lot. So just take a step back, let some of this just sink into your psyche, to your consciousness, and see what is being revealed for you at this full moon. What is it trying to show you? What is it trying to teach you? Sit with that, then start working with it, refining it. What are you needing to break free of and let go? If you would like to know how this full moon is directly impacting you, please reach out and we can do an astrology birth chart reading for you. And again, if this video has been helpful, please hit that thumbs up. Please subscribe, please share. 2026 is going to be the rocket ship that's taking off. We're not there yet, but we're almost there. So really listen to what your soul is bringing to you at this time. It is trying to teach you. It is trying to help you to transform, transmutate, and get ready for whatever it is that you are meant to hold for what comes next. Make sure you give yourself the time to feel whatever it is that is coming up for you to be felt. That is the full moon in Cancer. Feel it. Witness it. Hold it. And if you are needing support, please do reach out. I'm feeling a lot of excitement coming through for 2026. I am already developing a pilot for different lunar immersions to help people understand the moon cycles and this journey of their soul. What is happening for each of us every single month, how to see it and how to work with it. So I will be having information coming out for you in the next couple months, along with so much more. I can feel it. It's not quite here yet. It's not quite landed, but I am excited. And I truly hope that you're feeling some kind of excitement for you in your life when you're like, oh yeah, this thing I really want to do. It's almost here. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care. Get your puke bucket if that's what you're needing, and just know you are not alone in what you're going through. And I am so grateful that you are here for what is coming next. All right, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.